All right, so like imagine you're looking to spice up your portfolio a little bit, make some smart moves for the long term.
Yeah.
Not just for, this year, but for years to come. What if there's some hidden opportunities out there?
Yeah.
We're diving into an article today that highlights 3 stocks, and each one of them has the potential to be a star in their own sector. So we've got energy, consumer products, and tech.
And what's super interesting is that these aren't just, the picks that everyone's talking about or riding the wave of the market or anything like that. Each one of these has something special going on.
Right.
Kind of a unique strength that makes it worth taking a closer look.
Yeah. Let's jump in. Let's start with Energy Transfer.
Okay.
This is our pick in the energy sector. Now, they're a giant in the industry.
Yeah.
But you might not have heard of them because they're all about the infrastructure. Pipelines, storage, processing, kind of all the behind-the-scenes stuff that keeps the energy flowing.
Yeah, they're what's called a midstream company. So they don't drill for oil or gas themselves. They focus on getting it from where it's produced to where it's needed. And energy transfer size is a big deal here.
Right.
They have this huge network across the U.S. that lets them do something really smart.
Good.
Called energy arbitrage.
Energy arbitrage. So they're like energy traders.
Kind of, yeah. Imagine if you could buy apples in one town for $1, right? And then instantly transport them over to another town where they're selling for $5.
Okay.
Energy transfer basically does that with oil and gas. They take advantage of price differences across different regions.
That's pretty brilliant. So where does the AI boom fit into all this?
Okay, so think about all those data centers powering the AI revolution, right?
Yeah.
They need a ton of energy to run.
Right.
And energy transfer is in a prime position to supply it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this. The Permian Basin, it's a huge oil and gas producing region. It's practically overflowing with natural gas.
Oh, wow.
It's so plentiful that back in 2024, prices actually went negative.
Wait, negative prices. How does that even happen?
It's crazy, right? It happens when there's more supply than there is takeaway capacity.
Huh.
Energy Transfer saw this and thought, opportunity. They actually built this new pipeline project, a $2.7 billion project, just to transport all this cheap gas to power-hungry areas like Texas, which is where a lot of data centers are.
Okay, so they're connecting the dots between cheap energy and huge demand.
Yeah.
Very strategically. The article mentions that Energy Transfer is trading at a pretty low valuation. They use this term of EBITDA.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I have no idea what that means. Can you maybe break that down a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So think of it like this. Let's say you're looking to buy a rental property.
Okay.
You'd compare the price of the house to how much rent you could get from it, right?
Right.
So if EBITDA is similar, it compares the company's overall value to its earnings, but it factors in things like debt.
So it's kind of like a rent-to-price ratio for a business.
You got it. And in Energy Transfer's case, that ratio is low compared to similar companies, meaning it could be undervalued by the market.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like maybe the market isn't fully grasping its growth potential because of all this, AI boom and everything.
Right. So not only is it potentially, a company that is well-positioned for growth, but they're also paying up dividends.
Yeah, they are. Right now, they're offering a 6.6% dividend yield, and they're planning to grow that by like 3 to 5% each year.
So you get like potential stock price appreciation and a steady income stream.
Exactly.
Wow. Energy Transfer sounded pretty good.
It is.
All right. So let's jump into a completely different world.
Yeah.
Consumer products. I'm curious about e.l.f. Beauty.
Okay.
This is our pick for this sector.
This is where it gets really interesting. So e.l.f. is more than just makeup.
Okay.
They're a prime example of what they call a growth story unfolding.
Okay.
And what they've done really well is they've tapped into a sweet spot in the market. They're combining influencer marketing with affordable versions of high-end beauty products.
So you're saying they're giving people the prestige look without the prestige price tag.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that being really popular, especially with younger shoppers.
Yeah.
Who are, all over social media and trends and stuff like that.
You got it. And it's totally working. Their sales jumped 40% last quarter.
Wow.
Which is huge, right? And they're expanding globally. But here's the thing. Even with all this crazy growth, their stock price hasn't quite caught up yet. The article mentions this thing called a PEG ratio that apparently signals whether a growth stock is undervalued.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I am drawing a blank on PEG ratio. What is that?
No problem. Okay, so imagine you've got two runners, and they're both running really fast, right?
Sure.
But one of them has the potential to accelerate even more.
Okay.
The PEG ratio helps us see that potential. It compares the company's price-to-earnings ratio with its expected growth rate. And a PEG under 1 often indicates that the stock is priced lower than its future growth potential.
Okay.
And e.l.f.'s PEG is a tiny 0.5.
So it's like they're a speed demon with a turbo boost ready to kick in. But the market hasn't even noticed yet.
That's a really good way to put it. And they're not stopping at makeup either. They're moving into skincare with two brands, e.l.f. and Naturium.
Okay.
And there are rumors that they're going to do fragrance and hair care eventually.
So they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. That's smart. e.l.f. Beauty could be a real hidden gem here.
Yeah.
All right. 2 down, 1 to go. Let's talk tech. I bet you can guess what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's Alphabet.
Yeah.
Google's parent company. They're basically synonymous with the internet these days.
Yeah, pretty much. Alphabet dominates search, obviously, with Google, video with YouTube, and then they have this massive advertising technology business as well.
Right.
So these three things work together beautifully, bring in tons of revenue, massive reach, but we're not just looking at today, right? We're looking ahead. What's everyone talking about?
AI.
Artificial intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Alphabet is jumping headfirst into this with something they call AI overviews.
Okay.
And then a new app they call the Gemini AI app. Can you kind of walk me through that?
Okay. So I've heard these terms thrown around, right? But to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what they are. What is that?
All right. So let's start with AI overviews. Basically, it's about revolutionizing the way we search. Instead of getting this list of links when you search something, imagine AI analyzing and summarizing the best information from all over the web and then giving you this really concise and personalized answer to what you're looking for.
So it's like having a super smart research assistant at my fingertips.
Exactly. And then the Gemini AI app takes it a step further. It makes the experience more interactive and personalized.
Right.
It's like you're having a conversation with this really knowledgeable expert
Right.
who tailors these insights to your needs.
That sounds pretty futuristic. But how does Alphabet plan to make money off of this AI?
That's where all their expertise with ad tech really comes in.
Okay.
Get this. Right now, Google only shows ads on about 20% of search results.
Huh.
Imagine if AI could help unlock monetization for that other 80%.
Wow, that'd be huge.
Yeah. And then, of course, there's Google Cloud, their cloud computing business.
Right.
Right now, it's the third largest player in the cloud space, but it's growing way faster than any of its rivals.
Okay.
It actually saw a 35% revenue growth last quarter.
That's a big jump. Why is it growing so fast all of a sudden?
So cloud computing, it's all about giving businesses on-demand access to things like computing power and storage and things like that, right?
Wow.
So it's a high fixed cost business,
Okay.
meaning it takes a lot of investment up front.
Yeah.
But once that infrastructure is in place, then the profits can really take off.
Got it.
And I think Alphabet has hit that sweet spot. They've put in all that investment and now it's starting to pay off. Big time.
Well, the numbers definitely prove that.
Yeah.
The article says that their operating income, for Google Cloud jumped from $266 million to almost $2 billion in just 1 year.
It's crazy.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And as more businesses, move their stuff over to the cloud, Google Cloud is in this great spot to just grab more of the market, which means more profits for Alphabet overall.
Exactly. And then on top of all that, they also have all these other bets that they're making, in quantum computing, and with Waymo, their self-driving car company.
Right. And those are, kind of long-term plays.
Yeah.
But they have massive potential to be really disruptive.
Yeah. Quantum computing could revolutionize things like medicine and even AI itself.
Yeah.
And they're already considered a leader in the self-driving tech space. So they're dominant in search, video, ads. They have this booming cloud business, and they're investing in game-changing technologies for the future.
They are.
It sounds like Alphabet is firing on all cylinders.
They really are. And even with all that going on, they're still trading at a reasonable price.
Okay.
The article mentions a forward PE of 18.5, which seems like a pretty good deal considering all their potential for growth in all these different areas.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've got energy pipelines, beauty trends, the future of AI. It's a lot.
It is.
Let's take a breath here for a second.
Yeah.
And recap our 3 promising picks.
Okay.
We've got energy transfer, e.l.f. Beauty and Alphabet.
Right.
Each one's got their own, unique growth story.
Right.
And I think reasons to believe that their future is pretty bright.
It's been a fascinating conversation so far, and hopefully this is giving you a good idea of what each company is all about. But I do want to emphasize that it's just the beginning. It's important to dig deeper, explore their financials and their competition and what kind of risks they're facing.
Right. It's not enough to just get excited about an idea. We've got to do our homework.
Yeah, for sure. We've really only scratched the surface here.
Right.
So, you've got to go deeper, look at the company's financials, see who they're competing with, understand what risks they're up against.
Yeah. So where would you suggest is like the best place to find that kind of information?
There are a ton of options out there, both online and offline. So you could start with the company's website, then maybe check out some financial news sites like Bloomberg, Reuters, maybe.
Okay.
There are some research platforms out there like Morningstar, Seeking Alpha. Those can give you some good insights. And don't be afraid to talk to a financial advisor if you want some more personalized guidance.
Right. Okay, that's great advice. You mentioned earlier about not just understanding what a company does, but why their future looks promising. Can you give me some more concrete examples of what that would look like?
Yeah, of course. So let's take Energy Transfer, for example.
Okay.
It's not enough to know that they just move natural gas around. You need to understand that the whole AI boom is creating this massive demand for energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Energy Transfer, because they have access to all that cheap Permian Basin gas, they're really well positioned to meet that demand.
Okay, see, yeah.
And then with e.l.f. Beauty, it's not just about selling makeup.
Right.
It's about understanding that they've kind of cracked the code when it comes to influencer marketing,
Yeah.
and offering these high quality, kind of dupes of expensive products at prices that younger people can actually afford.
Right.
And then with Alphabet, it's not just about being the big, dominant player in search and advertising. It's about their potential to really turn AI into a money-making machine.
Yeah.
With all these new search features and then their cloud business that's growing like crazy as more companies switch to the cloud.
It's like we're peeling back the layers of an onion to see what's really driving these companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I like that analogy. It's about going beyond just the surface level and really understanding the why behind a company's success and what's fueling those future prospects, right?
Yeah. This is a really valuable lesson here. It's not just about chasing the latest stock tips or blindly following the crowd. It's about being informed and understanding these companies and how they fit into the bigger picture.
I couldn't agree more. Investing, it's not just about maximizing your return.
Right.
It's about aligning your portfolio with what you value, your goals, and the kind of future you want to see.
So are you ready for the next step in our deep dive?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go beyond these individual companies now.
Okay.
And let's talk about how to really assess investment opportunities and, figure out if they're right for you.
Sounds good. There's a lot to cover. Everything from understanding how much risk you're willing to take to evaluating a company's management team and all that kind of stuff.
Let's do it.
All right, let's dive in.
It's really cool how these three companies, they're all in totally different fields, but they're all tapping into these big shifts that are happening in the world.
It is pretty amazing, right? So Energy Transfer, they're riding that wave of the whole AI boom, the need for way more power.
Right.
And then e.l.f. Beauty, they're capitalizing on how influential these online influencers really are.
Yeah.
And how that's changing beauty trends.
Yeah.
And then you've got Alphabet, who are literally at the forefront of this whole AI revolution. It's not even just adapting anymore. They're actually shaping the future.
Yeah, it's pretty inspiring to think about. I mean, for someone like me who's trying to build a diverse portfolio, these companies, they don't just offer me a chance to invest in different sectors.
Right.
But also to be a part of these world-changing trends.
Oh, absolutely. But before you run out and buy a bunch of shares, we got to talk about something really important. Research.
Right. It's not enough to just get all excited about an idea. We got to do our homework.
Exactly. We've barely scratched the surface here. We really need to dig in, look at the financials, who their competition is, what kind of risks they're facing, all that good stuff.
Okay. So where would you say is the best place to find that kind of information?
Well, there are tons of options, both online and offline. So you could start with their website, the company's own website.
Yeah.
And then, check out financial news sites, Bloomberg, Reuters, things like that. There are also these research platforms, Morningstar, Seeking Alpha. Those are good. Those can give you some really good insights. And hey, if you want more personalized guidance, don't be afraid to talk to a financial advisor.
Yeah. Okay. That's great advice. So you were talking earlier about, not just understanding what a company does,
right,
but why their future looks so bright, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Can you maybe give me some more concrete examples of what that looks like?
For sure. Okay, so let's think about energy transfer again. It's not just about knowing, oh, they move natural gas around.
Right.
You've really got to understand how this AI boom is driving this massive demand for energy. And because energy transfer has all this access to that cheap Permian Basin gas, they're perfectly set up to meet that demand.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
And then with e.l.f. Beauty, it's not just that they sell makeup.
Right.
It's that they really figured out how to use influencer marketing, and they offer those high quality versions of more expensive brands at prices that younger consumers can actually afford.
Right, right.
And then with Alphabet, it's not just about being the top dog in search and advertising. It's they have this potential to basically turn AI into a money-making machine with all those new search features and stuff, right?
Right.
Plus, their cloud business is just exploding as more and more companies move all their stuff over to the cloud.
It's like we're peeling back the layers of an onion, trying to figure out what's really driving these companies forward.
I like that. Yeah, it's about going beyond just what you see on the surface and really understanding, the why behind their success and what's going to keep them growing in the future.
Yeah, it's a really valuable lesson. It's not just about chasing the latest hot stock tip or whatever, or just following the crowd. You got to be informed.
Yeah.
Understand the companies, how they fit into the big picture.
Exactly. Investing is not just about squeezing out every last percentage point of return.
Right.
It's about, making sure that your portfolio reflects what you care about and your goals for the future, that kind of thing.
So are you ready to move on to the next part of our, deep dive?
Absolutely. What's next?
Okay. So we've talked about individual companies, right?
Right.
Let's go a little bit beyond that now.
Okay.
And talk about how you actually assess these investment opportunities.
Okay.
How do you know if they're really right for you?
Sounds good. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
We can talk about your own risk tolerance, how to evaluate a company's management team, that kind of stuff.
All right. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's dive in.
I really like this whole idea of informed investing, really understanding the why behind a company and making sure it fits with what you believe in.
Yeah, for sure. It's so much more than just trying to make a quick buck, right?
Right.
It's about actually using your investments to help shape the world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive today, I want to leave everyone with a bit of a challenge.
A challenge. All right, lay it on me.
Okay. So I challenge you to take some time this week and think about these three companies we've been talking about.
Okay.
Energy Transfer, e.l.f. Beauty, Alphabet. And really ask yourself which one speaks to you the most.
I love that. It's not about picking the stock that's going to go up the most or trying to time the market or anything like that.
Right.
It's really about connecting with the story that resonates with you. What do you believe in? What do you value?
Exactly. So which story really pulls at you? Is it, the quest for sustainable energy? Or is it the evolution of the beauty industry? Or maybe it's the power of AI?
Each one of these companies, they're all part of something much bigger, something that's changing the world. And when you invest in them, you're not just buying a stock, you're becoming part of that story.
And who knows, maybe this deep dive is, kind of sparked your interest in something totally new, an industry, a technology, something you hadn't really thought about before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the start of a whole new journey of discovery for you, uncovering these hidden gems that really align with what you're passionate about.
That's what I love about investing. It's this constant process of learning and exploring and evolving. And as you gain more knowledge and experience, your strategy gets more refined. It becomes a reflection of your unique view of the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. So don't be afraid to be curious.
Yeah.
Ask questions, challenge your own assumptions. The more you learn, the better you'll be at navigating the market.
Yeah.
And making those decisions that feel right for you.
Investing isn't just about making as much money as possible. It's really about creating the future you want to see.
Well said. All right. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, happy investing.